So The Walk is the new movie directed by Robert Zemeckis, the man that brought us Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Flight, and it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays Philip Petit, a French man who walked a high wire between the two Twin Towers back in the 70s. I saw this film last night at the New York Film Festival, and walking out of the theater, I said to myself, this movie can be absurdly corny, cheesy, and cartoony, but it's still some of the most fun I've had at the theater all year. It's Robert Zemeckis' energetic directing and style that just becomes so infectious, I just couldn't help but smile at this movie. What Zemeckis brings to the table are all these visual ideas that are so creative and unique that only he can do. The ambitious style that Zemeckis has always had just fits so well with the story of such an ambitious man. It was such a great fit. Now at first when I heard Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that French accent, I was just so taken aback. It just felt so weird in my head because he sounded like a French Antonio Banderas. And I think a lot of other people will also be taken aback by the accent, but over time for me, I got really used to the accent. The more and more I listened to it, the more I realized that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is pulling off this accent really well. It just felt so organic coming out of his mouth. It takes some time to get used to, but the accent is not as distracting as I thought it would be. But aside from the accent, you could feel Joseph Gordon-Levitt's charisma oozing off the screen. JGL just brings that dazzle, that pizzazz to his performance that you just don't see nowadays. Gordon-Levitt had to carry this movie on his shoulders and he did an incredible job. When it comes to the rest of the cast, there really isn't that much of a standout. The closest to it is Ben Kingsley. He does a very good job in the mentor role and he bounces off Joseph Gordon-Levitt very well. But most of the supporting cast is, they're just kind of there. But there is one thing in this movie that elevates The Walk to a whole nother level. That one thing is the special effects. Seeing Gordon-Levitt walk between the two Twin Towers at the end of the movie is an experience unlike any other. They somehow were able to recreate the Twin Towers and make it feel 100% real. And the way the visual effects were able to convey how high he was walking between the towers is something that just cannot be put into words. It's amazing how a soundstage in Los Angeles can be turned into a breathtaking visual marvel. I do firmly believe that The Walk has now become a visual effects milestone in film history. I am not trying to over-exaggerate here. The Walk is a grand spectacle unlike any other. I highly suggest you see it on the biggest screen you possibly can. However, The Walk is still not without its flaws. Every single person in this movie is defined by only one single character trait. Whether it be Gordon-Levitt as the ambitious dreamer, or Charlotte Le Bon as just the girlfriend character, or a guy who's scared of heights, and this horrible cliche stoner. The stoner character in this movie is so horrendously awful. And like I said before, this movie can get cheesy and cartoony at times, and it works in the film's favor a lot of times, but there's still a lot of times where it doesn't. I love the fact that this film can let its freak flag fly, but sometimes it can just be a little too overbearing. And speaking of overbearing, let's talk about the score for a second. There's a point in the film where the movie turns into a heist film to get to the roofs of the Twin Towers, and that's where the score really shines. But very early on, the score just felt so over whimsical and too triumphant. I just wanted to barf at how gleeful the music was at times. And this isn't a big gripe, but the movie can over-rely on narration. The only reason I didn't mind the narration that much is because they did something very funny with it, because Joseph Gordon-Levitt's telling the story, and where he's telling the story, it's great. That extra thing that they do to the narration is just another fun element for the movie. So overall, The Walk is pure entertainment that's just so full of life and energy. The effects are beyond words, the direction by Zemeckis is brilliant, and we get another great performance by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a fantastic love letter to New York City and the Twin Towers. If you were able to accept how over the top this movie can be, then this is an absolute must-see. 4.5 out of 5 reels. And guys, New York Film Festival keeps on rolling. Coming up soon are reviews for The Lobster and The Martian. What did you guys think of The Walk? Make sure to comment below, hit that subscribe button, hit me up on Twitter, on my website, BrennanHasAblog.wordpress.com. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Brennan Weissman. Peace!